The life we had before I went go. You gotta let me go so you can let me grow. And yeah, it's killing me, but I can let that show. So I'll let them know there's a light that glows in the darkest hole. And we still got hope, but
alright, that's more like it. That's what I've been waiting to see. Why not? Yeah, let's have some fun. Because this movie was fun. What's up? Welcome back to Cynical Saiyan 77. We are done talking about garbage today because we are finally starting a franchise I've wanted to talk about for a while. Because I've never seen these before. These are all first-time watches, and they have been praised up the ass. And I think from this first one alone, I can see where most of the praise is coming from. Because, holy shit, this movie was great. Like, I'm now really excited to dive into this series. And not only that, I get to watch the first 5 today. You know, because of the camping trip, I have to get these out quick. But, man, what a great movie. I haven't seen these movies before. I haven't even seen the TV show this is based off of. I only knew it through cultural osmosis. And after watching this first one, yeah, I'm hooked now. I love this franchise already, and I want to see more. So, let's do what we normally do. Do a nice written review. This one's actually a bit more analytical for once, because it's not a piece of shit, which is nice. So, I'm gonna take these off now, because it's messing with my eyesight. Set those up there. And I'll put those back on for the final verdict. So, let's dive in. Great acting, great story, excellent writing, awesome characters, tons of memorable moments, especially the vault scene. We all know the vault scene, the one with the classic... You know which one I'm talking about. Classic vault scene. A fantastic soundtrack. I mean, how can you not get that awesome theme song stuck in your head? A great conclusion, a really good twist, perfect pacing, a great runtime that doesn't waste a single second, high suspense and tension throughout, phenomenal directing, gorgeous cinematography, and extremely high entertainment value. Like, seriously, the entertainment value on this movie is high. Like, very, very high. I had a great time watching this one. However, it's not a perfect movie, and I can't say it's better than Bourne Identity. Why? Let me explain. Over-reliance of dated CGI at the very end. That freaking helicopter. Ugh. I know that this was made in a time period before we actually perfected CGI, but, yeah, I'm pretty sure even then it looked bad. Seriously, it's only that one part, though. It's literally just at the end. Aside from that, there's little to no CGI in this movie at all, which is nice. So, yeah, it's just that one little part at the end that did kind of bug me a little bit, but that ending was still really cool. The villain being nothing more than okay. Yeah, the villain's fine. Once you revealed who it is, it's just like, okay, now it's time for you to die. I'm sorry. Like, the villain himself was actually well built, and like I said, it's a great twist, but at the same time, he's just okay. He's barely in the movie, he's just okay. So, there's that. And a lack of action. Don't go into this expecting something like you got with Bourne Identity, which was like non-stop fistfights and gun shootouts the whole time. That's not what you get here. This one makes its mark by being tense, suspenseful, and being an espionage spy thriller. That's what this movie does best. Don't go into it expecting a gun shootout, fist-fighting, wild action movie. That's not what this is. That might be what the later ones are, but that's not what this one is. So what is this movie? It's great. It's great, it's great, it's great. Even as someone who's never seen the TV show it's based off of, I had an absolute blast with this one. While I wish it had more acting and it's not nearly as great as the Bourne Identity, it's more than made up for with its awesome spy espionage. Only on the first one, and already I'm pumped to see more. Highly recommended. Yeah. Highly recommended. This was a great movie. I had a great time with it, and like I said, I'm excited to see more. So, without any more further ados or delays, let's talk about the final verdict, shall we? If you haven't seen this franchise before, this is my recommendation from you. At least check out this first one and see if it works for you. If it does, watch the rest, and if it doesn't, then you know what, that's okay. It is what it is. All I can say is that this is a great film. Like, great movie, great story to a franchise, had a lot of fun with it. Let's just get to the final verdict. So, my final verdict for the first Mission Impossible is going to be a high 8 out of 10. This is a great movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. Alrighty, we'll get better or we'll get worse. I know a lot of people say that they don't like the second one, at least according to the internet, but we'll see if I end up having a different opinion. So, until then, thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this movie and franchise down below. No spoilers, please, so the newcomers can have a chance to experience it for themselves. And I'll see you guys next time for Mission Impossible 2.
Sacrifice myself, take a bullet to the head, jingle all the way to hell with the Reaper in my bed. If it meant I'd take my family, if it meant I'd take my friends, I'm just waiting for the end. If you knew the harm and it's obvious, lobbyists that were set to stop me, you know I'm wrong. I'ma leave it alone. Just know that I hold you all close. One for all, but you'll do the most. If I could, then I'd raise a toast to the life we had before I wake up. You gotta let me go, so you can let me grow. And yeah, it's killing me, but I can let that show. So I'll let them know there's a light that glows in the darkest hole, and we still got hope. But
okay. It's not a bad movie, okay? It is not like the horrible piece of garbage that people make it out to be. But it is not great. In fact, it's pretty disappointing. Let's discuss. Welcome back to self-destruct. Welcome to Mission Impossible 2. And oh man, this one disappointed me. I ended up loving that first film. You guys saw that review, or at least I hope you did. I loved that first film. It was fun, but it was also really well written, very well put together. It was just a great movie. I loved the first one. And I've heard some of the rumors about this one and people calling it garbage. But I'm not gonna call it garbage, but I'm gonna call it disappointing. This is far inferior to the first. It's good enough as a movie, but it's pretty forgettable as a sequel. This is another Richard Donner Superman 2 situation we got here, where it's not a bad movie, but in terms of a sequel, it's pretty bad. So, let's go through the written review, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts, and see you for the next one, because I still have a bunch of these to go. So, positives: great acting, good characters, decent writing, good directing, and okay pace, awesome action, great final act. Seriously, the final act of this movie is fantastic. A villain that's a little better than the first, though not by much, but still, better is better. Some cool stunt work, Anthony Hopkins as an awesome secondary character. Like, seriously, unless you're Transformers The Last Night or Hannibal, having Anthony Hopkins in your movie automatically gives you bonus points. A very good soundtrack, yes, featuring Metallica, I already know. And inevitably avoidable 2000s cheese that does make it a pretty fun watch. Like, this movie's fun. I'm not gonna deny that. This movie is fun. But, looking at it critically, it's barely even good. Why? Let me explain. It suffers from the new characters, except the hilarious Chopper Pilot, he's awesome, being pretty hit or miss. I didn't care about the love interest, I couldn't care about the villains, I didn't care about any of the side characters besides Anthony Hopkins. I just didn't care. Unless you were Ethan Hunt or... what was Rain's name? What was Ving Rhames' name? Hold on. I have 3 right here. Hold on. Oh. Darn, doesn't say. Whatever. Ving Rhames' character and the Chopper Pilot are both awesome. However, I didn't care about the love interest, didn't care about the villain, didn't care about any of the other side characters besides Anthony Hopkins. I just didn't care. And that's a big problem in a movie that's 2 hours long. A villain that's better, but still not very good. Yeah, I still didn't like this villain. He's marginally better than the first one, but the first one had the bonus of being in a pretty good plot twist that I actually didn't see coming. But this one, there's no mystery, there's no plot twists. You know who the villain is from the start, and he's an annoying little shit. I'll just put it like that. An obnoxious overuse of pointless slow-mo shots and recycled shots playing consecutively back to back to back. Like, I can't count how many times it plays like Cruz sliding in with a gun or playing a clip of him backflipping. Like, it plays a bunch of clips so many times in a span of a few seconds, it's obnoxious. Horrendous editing with way too many unnecessary cuts. Yeah, you know how people always bash the action from Batman Begins because it cuts so much? Yeah, this is that. It cuts way too much and it almost ruins the action entirely. Seriously, whoever edited this movie, you did a piss poor job. And a severe lack of that great espionage mystery from the first movie. There's no mystery here. We know who the villain is. We know who the good guy is. Like, there's no mystery. It just says right up front who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. There's none of that neat little intrigue and mystery that was in the first. Not to mention, there's not that much espionage in this movie either. I mean, yes, it's cool to see the villains use the mask thing that Ethan Hawke was using a bunch in the first movie, but outside of that, there's in one scene where he tries to destroy the virus by going inside this building. He does little to absolutely no espionage. That is a huge bummer, especially because that was the best part of the first movie. So, overall, I did enjoy this one, but no doubt pretty disappointing compared to the first one. Respect to those who really love it, but for me, it's very much a one and done kind of thing. It can be fun, but it just has way too many problems. Recommended for at least one watch, but not really much more than that. It's not a bad movie, but it's a very unremarkable and memorable one. I'm not very impressed by this one, as I was with the first, and while it did address my complaint of adding in action, it brought a whole heap of new problems with it, so I still have to be harsh on it, and that sucks, but you know what? It is what it is. Overall, my final verdict for Mission Impossible 2 is going to be a 6 out of 10. It's slightly above average, it is fun, but I expected so much more. Will 3 be better? Well, we'll find out soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for my review of Mission Impossible 3. Please be better.
I sacrifice myself, take a bullet to the head, and go all the way to hell with the Reaper in my bed. If it meant I'd take my family, if it meant I'd take my friends, I'm just waiting for the end. I'm lost. If you knew the harm, it is obvious, lobbyist, that was to stop me, you know I'm wrong. I'ma leave it alone, just know that I hold you all close. One for all, but don't do the most. If I could, then I'd raise a toast to the life we had before I wake up. You gotta let me go, so you can let me grow. And yeah, it's killing me, but I can't let that show. So I'll let them know, there's a light that glows in the darkest hole, and we still got hope, but
Well, holy shit. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cynical Stain 77. Welcome to, sadly, our last review. I'm sorry I can't get to Rogue Nation or Ghost Protocol. I'm out of time, and I have to do stuff for Animation Station, so this is going to be the last one of these I'm going to be reviewing for now, and then on Monday, I'll be back to you guys to review 4, 5, and 6. So, yep, you'll have that to look forward to. So, let's talk for a bit about Mission Impossible 3. Holy fuck, this movie's awesome. Like, this more than makes up for the disappointment of 2. Like, more than makes up for it. Unfortunately, I can't get, like, super giddy, hyper excited right now. Yes, I made that a word, deal with it. Because it is quiet time, and most people in my household are asleep, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep this review short, brief, and to the point, but I'm telling you right now, go watch this movie if you haven't already. It's fucking awesome. So here's my written review. Please enjoy hearing my mouth. My mouth, yeah. Outstanding acting, thrilling action, excellent storytelling, an amazing villain played by the fantastic Philip Seymour Hoffman, sharp writing, insane stunt work, effective brutality. Like, seriously, there are some brutal fucking moments in this movie that are going to have your jaw on the floor. Fantastic characters, a riveting final act, suspenseful espionage. Yes, the spy espionage is back in full fucking force and it's amazing. Perfect pacing, emotional moments that hit and don't feel wasted, shocking brutality. Yeah, this movie is pretty fucking brutal with some of the things it does, so just a heads up for you. Another great unexpected twist, phenomenal directing from J.J. Abrams. Yes, this is from J.J. Abrams. I honestly didn't even know until I looked at the DVD. Pretty good cinematography, with one exception I'm going to talk about in a minute. Much better editing, a lot less cheesiness, and a fantastic runtime that doesn't waste a single second and keeps you on the edge of your fucking seat. Like, wow, this movie was so fucking good. It was so good. It was great. It was phenomenal. It was fantastic. But it's not perfect, unfortunately. It's not Born Ultimatum. You'll understand why I'm making that comparison when I get to the final thoughts part of this post, but trust me, it's not the 10 out of 10 that Ultimatum was. Its only issues are the obnoxious shaky cam. Yeah, seriously, that shaky cam is fucking horrible. Please fix it, and please do not tell me that it's in the rest of these movies, okay? Okay, thank you. The hit-or-miss humor, aside from Simon Pegg's Bensky, yes, I remembered his name, and he's fucking hilarious. And the very slow beginning. Like, this movie has a very, very slow start. Like, it is very, very slow, but stick with it. It'll more than make up for it, and it ramps up pretty quick. So, it starts out slow, but trust me, it ramps up quick. Stick with it. Okay. Overall thoughts. This is definitely the ultimatum of the series, a spectacular third installment that accelerates the franchise to new heights no one ever thought it could ever reach. Highly recommended, best of the series thus far. Yeah, pretty much. And it's just coincidentally the one that I actually happen to have on DVD. So, I didn't have to rely on a fucking streaming service and any of that dumb shit. I was able to watch it the way I wanted to watch it. DVD on my computer. And it's just a weird coincidence that the only one I own is the one that's the best of the franchise. Like, holy fuck, this movie is fantastic, and if you haven't seen it yet, you need to. Go watch it right now. Watch 1, skip 2, go straight to 3. 2 literally has nothing to do with this movie at all. So, yeah. Final verdict for Mission Impossible 3 is the highest 9 out of 10 that I can give it. Seriously, phenomenal, outstanding, fantastic movie. I'm so stoked to jump back into this franchise on Monday. Seriously, pick this up if you haven't already. So, yep, that's the last one for today, my friends. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time watching these Mission Impossible movies for the first time. And even though 2 was disappointing, I still had a lot of fun. And compared to the fucking shit I had to go through with Insidious, yeah, I'll take this over that shit any day of the week. So, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the movie we discussed down below. But again, no spoilers. Don't be one of those people. And seriously, just go watch this movie. Go watch the first, go watch the third. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I probably said that a million times now. Whatever. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on Monday for Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Until then, thanks. Where's a Rogue Nation? Fuck. Which one was it? Ah, shit. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm actually saying this right. Ghost Protocol. Okay, yeah, it's Ghost Protocol. Yep. See you guys on Monday for Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol and the Nia Strauss album. Peace.
Sacrifice myself, take a bullet to the head, can go all the way to hell with the Reaper in my bed. If it meant I'd save my family, if it meant I'd save my friends, I'm just waiting for the end. Lost, lost, lost. If you knew the harm, it is obvious, lobbyist, never said to stop me, you know I'm wrong. I'ma leave it alone, just know that I hold you all close. Work for all, but don't do the most. If I could, then I'd raise a toast to the life we had before I wake up. You gotta let me go, so you can let me grow. And yeah, it's killing me, but I can't let that show. So I'll let them know, there's a light that glows in the darkest hole, and we still got hope, but
Man, it feels good to be back. I have returned from my camping trip, finally. I'm glad to be back, but we have a lot of reviews to catch up on, so I'm gonna have to be a bit rapid fire here because we got 3 Mission Impossible movies to do today. We got This One Ghost Protocol, we have Rogue Nation, and Fallout. Because the new one comes out tomorrow and I gotta make sure I'm caught up. Not to mention all the reviews I still gotta do for the other channel. So, today's gonna be a catch-up day. You're gonna be getting a lot of content on both channels, so just be aware of that. But welcome back to Cynical Saiyan 77. I'm your host Jackson Small, fresh out of the wilderness, literally. Finally, getting to continue this franchise, Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol. Some people say this one's their favorite, and I can definitely understand why, because this one is yet another great installment. But, unfortunately to say, it's just not as great as 3. 3 is still the highlight of this franchise for me. Why is that? Well, let's go straight into the written review, and I'll explain why. So, the pros of this movie. Great acting, sharp writing, fantastic stunt work, especially that iconic scaling the building scene. You guys know the exact one I'm talking about. It's amazing. Great character dialogue, higher stakes than ever up to this point. Great action, stellar directing from Brad Bird. Yes, that Brad Bird, the same awesome dude that brought us The Incredibles. Some enjoyable, funny moments, especially almost every word that comes out of Benji's mouth. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite characters. He's hilarious. Excellent espionage, strong character dialogue. Jeremy Renner being an amazing new addition to the team. As soon as I knew Jeremy Renner was in this movie, I knew I was going to love it, because he rarely ever does anything bad. And I still stand by Bourne Legacy being amazing. I do not care what the critics say. That movie is amazing. And he's amazing in it, and should have gotten his own franchise. A darker tone than the first 2, but not quite as dark as 3, with the whole IMF having to be disavowed, and pretty much now Ethan and his team having to work without any support from the government. Yeah, it's pretty high stakes and very dark. Not to mention it's literally about stopping nuclear warfare. Yeah, it's pretty dark. A great ending that hopefully will lead into an excellent 5th installment from what I've heard. Some fun little cameos. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. At the very end of this movie, there are some cameos from some series mainstays that haven't gotten the axe yet, so just keep your eye out for them. They're fun little Easter eggs for the fans. And perfect pacing. This movie's pacing is pretty much perfect. I literally cannot say anything more than that. However, as I've said before, this is a step back from 3 because of the villain going back to being a generic throwaway. Why? Why did we have to go back to the generic garbage villain that we're not going to remember in 2 days tops? Why? Philip Seymour Hoffman was such a great, effective, scary villain in Mission Impossible 3. Not to mention, he got an amazing death, even though you didn't see any blood, but it was still amazing. A runtime that's just a bit too long. Yeah, this movie is, how long is this movie? Not counting the credits, it's about 2 hours and 5 minutes. Yeah, it feels a bit long, and somewhere in the middle it feels like it's dragging its feet a bit. But it's made up for with a great final act, so I'm willing to give it a slight pass. And one too many repetitious moments that felt out of place. Yeah, there's a few parts from this movie that definitely feel like they're repeating things that were done in the other Mission Impossible movies. but it's not to the point of being egregious or obnoxious. It just feels a bit, out of place and not quite fitting into this movie's overall story and tone. That's just me. While not quite as great as the third, it's still a fantastic installment, highly recommended. Yeah, I still highly recommend this one. It's still a great installment and a pretty great franchise I'm becoming a big fan of very fast. I really enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun, and it was just dark enough to still be effective and have the high stakes, not like suffocatingly realistic gritty dark like Mission Impossible 3, which I still prefer that, but I think this movie, for what it is, works a lot better in the parameters that it sets for itself. It's a great installment. It's still a lot of fun. It still has high entertainment value, and if you're a fan of this franchise, absolutely check this one out. It is a great movie, just a small step back from the movie that came right before it. And this movie came out in what, 2011, I think? Let me see. Yeah, 2011. And then 3 came out in 2006. That's almost a 10-year time gap, so of course it's going to be drastically different. But I don't know, maybe it's just a tad too drastically different for my taste, but I just loved the dark grittiness of 3. It's just what I prefer. But I still really love this one. I can still see why so many people call it their favorite, and it is still a blast to watch. If you haven't checked this one out yet, absolutely check it out. It is absolutely worth your time, and worth buying on DVD if you can find it. Final verdict for Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol is going to be an easy high 8 out of 10. A small step back from the third, but still a great installment in this great franchise that I'm very quickly becoming a massive fan of, and finally seeing the appeal that people have been praising about for years and years. Great movie, check it out. Excellent job, Brad Bird. You put out a fantastic movie. And while it's not as great as Incredibles, it's still great and definitely worth all the praise. So yeah, that is all I'm going to say about Ghost Protocol. I'm not going into spoilers or anything like that. I don't really think it's quite worth it, but thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time for Mission Impossible 5 Rogue Nation. Hopefully, it's just as great as this, if not even greater. See you then.
Sacrifice myself, take a bullet to the head, jingle all the way to hell with bed. If it meant I'd take my family, if it meant I'd take my friend, I'm just waiting for the end. Lost. If you knew the harm, it is obvious, lobbyists never said to stop me, you know I'm wrong. I'ma leave it alone, just know that I hold you all close. One for all, but don't do the most. If I could, then I'd raise a toast to the life we had before I went ghost. You gotta let me go, so you can let me grow. And yeah, it's killing me, but I can let that show. So I'll let them know, there's a light that glows in the darkest hole, and we still got hope, but
Sorry, 3, you're dethroned. I'll fetch that later. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cynical Sane 77. I'm not being cynical here. I'm about to talk about what might be one of my, if not my all-time, favorite 5th installments of any franchise, period. I just finished Mission Impossible 5 Rogue Nation. Wow. Like, what a phenomenal movie. Like, I don't even know where to start. Like, this one's going to be hard to review, outside of my written review, of course, but I literally pretty much have nothing but praise to throw at this one. This is now my new favorite in this entire franchise. I still love 3, do not get me wrong, I still really love that film, but 5 is fantastic. It feels like a culmination of everything that's been built up to this point, excluding 2. 2 was kind of just a throwaway. In 1, 3, and 4, and now bringing it all together into this 5th installment. How this franchise keeps getting better is beyond me. Like, it felt like after they had a little bit of a mishap with 2, they found their footing, and they just excelled from there on out. From 3 to 4 and now 5. Like, I almost literally have nothing to complain about with this movie. So, let's go through the written review, and then I'll try to sing some more praises without sounding like a stuttering mess. Oh man. Arguably the best 5th installment of any franchise period. I kind of already stated that, moving on. Excellent acting, superb storytelling, excellent pacing, phenomenal villains. Like, wow, these villains are so much better than the one from Ghost Protocol. Like, so much better. Jaw-dropping stunt work. That opening on the plane was next level, and that whole underwater sequence was so well done. Like, man, the stunt work in this one shocked me. From the opening, arguably the best opening of any Mission Impossible, with him hanging off the side of a freaking plane. In real life, that was not any CGI. That was 100% real and well done. And that underwater sequence. Oh my, wow. I have no words for that underwater sequence. It was phenomenal. Awesome new characters, outstanding storytelling, exhilarating action, a great final act. Seriously, the final act of this movie is so good. Amazing storytelling, higher stakes than ever before, yes, even higher than Mission Impossible 3. High suspension and tension throughout that doesn't feel forced or shoehorned. It's entirely natural. Loads of twists and turns that weren't in the least bit predictable. Top-notch espionage, stellar settings, fantastic directing from Christopher McQuarrie, who is also the director of the next 2 installments, and from what I've heard, Fallout's even better. Stellar cinematography, incredible writing, high entertainment value, a great ending, a grand scale, great moments of little levity humor here and there, and a perfect runtime all makes this the peak of the franchise up to this point. My only small complaint against it, and why it's not gonna break the rating scale like other movies have done in the past, is that sequence in the Opera House was just a tad too long. That's literally my only complaint. I don't hate that scene. I thought it was great and it worked well in the movie. It just went on a bit too long, for my tastes. Then again, I'm a guy that's just not really into opera, so that part dragged a little bit. But that's literally it. This is my new favorite installment in the series, and from what I've heard, the next one's even better. I seriously cannot recommend this highly enough, and I really hope that I didn't jump on board this franchise too late, because I'm beyond pumped to see more. That pretty much sums up all my thoughts on this movie. Exhilarating, fast-paced, action-packed, incredible espionage, well-written, funny, tense, suspenseful, just phenomenal, fucking outstanding. Like, I cannot do this movie justice with plain words. You need to see it if you haven't already. Watch 1, skip 2, watch 3, watch 4, watch 5. Rogue Nation's incredible. You need to see if you haven't already. It's arguably one of the best action movies in the past decade and a half. Like, I literally cannot say anything more about it without going into spoilers, which I really don't want to do because I really want you guys to watch this one. Final verdict for Mission Impossible 5 Rogue Nation. Sorry, I'm so excited I can't talk. Final verdict for Mission Impossible 5 Rogue Nation is going to be a full, undeniable 10 out of 10. What a phenomenal, outstanding action spy espionage movie that I cannot recommend highly enough. My new favorite of this franchise, and I'm not going to be surprised if Fallout finds a way to top it, considering the fact that it made so much money. I don't know. All I know is I'm pumped to see more. I'm going to stop talking now so I can go start that next one. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time for Mission Impossible 6 Fallout.
I sacrifice myself, take a bullet to the head, and go all the way to hell with the Reaper in my bed. If it meant I'd take my family, if it meant I'd take my friends, I'm just waiting for the end. I'm lost. If you knew the harmony is obvious, lobbyists that were set to stop me, you know I'm wrong. I'ma leave it alone. Just know that I hold you all close. One for all, but don't do the most. If I could, then I'd raise a toast to the life we had before.
Yes, hi, hello, good day, good night, whatever time it is for you. Welcome back to Cynical Sane 77. I'm sorry I gotta make this review quick because it turns out I just got invited to an early screening of Dead Reckoning, so I gotta make this one quick so that I can, make the trip there. So, unfortunately, this is gonna be a much shorter review than normal, but trust me when I say it's not because the movie itself is bad. No. This is another phenomenal, fantastic, outstanding masterclass of Mission Impossible. This is another great entry. Another phenomenal, outstanding entry, dare I say. But like I said, I gotta make this review quick, so unfortunately, I can't really go that far in depth as I normally do. So I'm just gonna read off my written review, give you my final verdict, and then I'll see you tomorrow for my review of that movie because, by the time I get back, I probably won't have the energy to even make a review. So, you're going to get my actual video review tomorrow, but you're going to get my post-review, my written review, on my Facebook tonight. So, yep, that's the system. Here's my written review for Fallout. An awesome movie that sadly took me forever to finally watch, but now that I have, I adore it just as much as the rest of both you guys and the critics do. Awesome stunt work, too many to list, superb storytelling, excellent acting from both legacy characters and the new characters, including, especially, Angela Bassett in one of her most underplayed but surprisingly great roles. A shocking, effective main character death that I did not see coming. I'm not going to say which one, for those that haven't seen it. I'll leave it at that. Another fantastic villain portrayed by the fantastic Henry Cavill in possibly his best role. Insane set pieces, sharp writing, stakes even higher than the last one, high suspension tension throughout. Perfect pacing, excellent runtime, amazing settings, gorgeous cinematography, outstanding directing, many unpredictable twists, great espionage, high adrenaline action, great new characters, especially White Widow played by the excellent Vanessa Kirby. Some beautiful emotional moments, high entertainment value, great humor, and arguably the first F-bomb in the franchise delivered in one of the most memorable scenes in the whole movie. However, it's not quite better than Rogue Nation for one simple reason: the ending. It's not a bad ending, but it feels like it cuts off before we get to truly see the resolvement for all the hero characters involved, and feels a bit tacked on. That being said, though, this was still a blast to watch, and I can see why it was such a huge deal back in 2018 when it first came out. It's a fantastic film that acts as an epilogue for Rogue Nation, while also being incredible in its own right. Highly recommended. Yep, that pretty much sums up my entire thoughts on this movie, as quick as I possibly can. So, let's just go straight to the final verdict. Final verdict for Mission Impossible Fallout is going to be the second ever for the franchise. 10 out of 10. Perfect score. It earns it. What can I say, man? It earns it. It's an outstanding movie. You haven't watched it yet, go check it out. I gotta go make the car trip now. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my review of Dead Reckoning. Part 1.
I sacrifice myself, take a bullet to the head, can go all the way to hell with the Reaper in my bed. If it meant I'd take my family, if it meant I'd take my friend, I'm just waiting for the end. If you knew the ominous, obvious lobbyists that were set to stop me, you know I'm wrong. I'ma leave it alone. Just know that I hold you all close. One for all, but don't do the most. If I could, then I'd raise a toast to the life we had before I went ghost. You gotta let me go, so you can let me grow. And yeah, it's killing me, but I can let that show. So I'll let them know there's a light that glows in the darkest hole. No ways to go, but
Okay. Not as good as 5 and 6, but it's still an excellent movie. What's up? What's happening? Welcome back to Cynical Sane 77. Welcome to our, as of right now, final movie review for Mission Impossible. Dead Reckoning, Part 1. I got to go see this one early last night, and I put out my written review last night, and it pretty much summed up all my thoughts on the movie pretty well. But, before you guys say it, no, I don't think this movie is bad by any means. It is still a fantastic, outstanding movie, but it is disappointing. Not to the point of being cataclysmic, like I don't want to watch it again, no. Disappointing as in, It's coming off the heels of Rogue Nation and Fallout, two of arguably the best action movies we've gotten in the past 10 years. So, when you put it up against that standard, it's going to be disappointing inevitably. That being said, though, Dead Reckoning Part 1 is still a great movie. It's still an excellent film. It's still a great time. It's still a blast at the theater. Trust me, you gotta see this movie in a theater. It is insane. It is insane in theaters. Seriously, you gotta see this on the biggest screen possible right now. And what makes this movie so great is its excellent acting, fantastic directing, sharp writing, exhilarating action, jaw-dropping stunt work. I mean, that whole train scene just, wow, that is a heck of a way to end your movie. A perfect pace, a dark tone, another shockingly effective main character death. Again, I'm not going to say who because it's a spoiler, but just be aware, someone does die in this movie. An impactful cliffhanger, yeah, that cliffhanger is just going to leave you like, that's it. And gorgeous cinematography. So, why am I calling this movie disappointing, despite me still calling it excellent and more than likely going to be on the top 10 best lists? Well, it suffers from the following. A slow second act, a very mediocre villain. I'm sorry, I don't like Gabriel at all. Like, he's very meh. He's so meh. He's so meh, and as a final villain for the entirety of the franchise, he's pretty friggin' bad. Not to mention they're going up against a literal AI. Yeah, I feel like that's the part where Mission Impossible jumps the shark. A few too many fake outs, a runtime that's way too long and almost 3 hours. Like, this is a movie franchise that's best at like 2 hours, 20 minutes tops. This one's almost 3 hours. And because of that second act being so slow, it drags. And you feel that runtime, and it's pretty dang bad. And a severe lack of levity from the seriousness. This one has much less levity and much less humor, which makes sense. It's part one of a super big finale to the franchise, but at the same time, it's just so disappointing. Like, what made the other Mission Impossible movies work so well, especially Fallout and Rogue Nation in particular, is the fact that despite it being dark and serious with the actual mission stuff, it still had its moments of levity and humor. That doesn't mean that this one doesn't have any. It still has some great humor, but it's very few and far between all the dark, overwhelming seriousness. And it kind of sucks the fun out of it, in a way. Not to the point of being cataclysmically abysmal, no, but just to the point of, like, give us some levity. Yes, this is a dark chapter, I understand that, but we still need at least a little bit of levity. Just a little bit. But the only little bit we got in here, I mean, it's one car scene. That's it. Outside of that, it's not very funny. And that is a huge bummer. Unfortunately, a step back from 5 and 6, but still fantastic. Absolutely go see this one. Yeah, I still recommend you go see this movie. It is still fantastic. It is still great. And while it's not the best Mission Impossible movie ever, like Rotten Tomatoes likes to claim, it is still an excellent action movie, an excellent installment, and a fantastic franchise that I'm so happy to now be a part of. I love this franchise. I love watching it. And I'm probably going to end up rewatching it a lot for a few years to come because this franchise is arguably some of the most enjoyable, entertaining, thrilling, fun, first-time watches of any franchise I've had ever since I started reviewing movies and doing this channel at all. Like, I've had a lot of fun with this franchise, and I'm now a huge fan. And now I can finally see the appeal of it, and yes, this will be on my top 10 best list. I'm just going to spoil that right now. I'm not going to say where it's going to fall. I'm just going to say it's going to be on the top 10 best list. Who knows? Maybe it'll get knocked out. We still have another whole half of the year to go. But as of right now, my final verdict for Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1, that's a friggin' mouthful, is going to be a strong but disappointing 9 out of 10. I was really hoping this would be the third movie in a row to get a 10 out of 10 from this franchise, but it just couldn't quite reach it. That being said, though, it's definitely a lot better than most of these Part 1 setup movies are. Most of them are pretty, well, they fall into the trap of being a setup movie for a much better second act, but this one is still great in its own right. I just expected more out of it coming off of 2 back-to-back 10 out of 10 films. That's all. As for my ranking of the series, I know it's pretty straightforward anyway, but here you go. That's my ranking of the whole series. Overall, a pretty strong franchise. Honestly, the only one I wasn't really a big fan of was 2. Outside of that, I pretty much loved this franchise and gave all of them an 8 or higher. I believe I did. I could possibly be wrong, but that's what I believe that I did. Sorry, my memory is shite, but yeah, absolutely go see this one. Highly recommended, and if you haven't checked it out, what are you doing? Go check it out right now when it comes out, I believe. Either it comes out today or Wednesday. It comes out Wednesday. It comes out tomorrow, because today's the 11th, so I actually got to see it 2 days early. Lucky me. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And before you guys start asking, yes, I am going to be reviewing Red Door, the final Insidious movie, even though it's not really the final one, because it turned out that right before this movie got released in theaters, they announced 2 more. But I'm telling you right now, Red Door is the last one I'm watching, because fuck, I hate the Insidious movies. So, yep, I'll see you whenever I see you next time for Insidious Red Door. It's not going to be today, because I actually want to be positive today, and I have Animation Station stuff to do. So, until the next time I see you, have a great day, take care, and go watch this movie. Peace.
I sacrifice